Bear with me. Yeah, I've tried all sorts of different means of doing these. I mean, the one we did just with in the car that didn't work as well, but Skype just seems to work.
Skype's consistent. It's also Skype doesn't shut down. That's the issue. You close it and it stays open. You stick to it and it really works. This is the Skype line. Once it sounds more jazzy. They've already routed it. Yeah, I don't know.
It's getting down. Hello.
Hi.
Hola.
Okay.
Como você está?
Well, we've got some Portuguese speakers here.
No, I just looked it up online.
Hello.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Can you hear us?
I'm fine. How are you?
We're good. It's raining in Cornwall.
Oh, is it? That's a surprise.
Tell us about the weather in Rio.
In Rio today it's about 28 degrees and the sun is shining, but it's the first time probably this week that we've had good weather. It's been horrid.
Yeah, it is.
Mandy, we've lost your camera actually. Can you click on it again? Here we go. Hello.
Okay, I can't see you, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, we're here. So listen, what if you could see us, you'd see a small room in Falmouth University with 8 students, third-year students, who are all studying a module called Foreign Correspondent. And what we're doing today is looking at the people that are the support around a foreign correspondent, the people who are there to help people out. We've had a really interesting chat with a former fixer of ours from Kosovo. And I wanted to chat to you what it's like. First of all, I want to chat about your own career as a journalist, and then talk about what it's like sort of following a correspondent around the world and being the other half, as it were. If that's okay?
Okay, the trailing spouse, as we're called sometimes.
But let's start by relating it back to where we are and having a quick chat about Cornwall. Tell us about how you got started in the business.
Oh, okay. Well, I was raised in Mivagissey on the south coast. I left Cornwall and I went and lived in Cambridge for a few years. And then I came back to Cornwall at exactly the time when the BBC was launching a local radio station in Truro. And I was fortunate. I got a job there as the management assistant, so nothing to do with programme making or anything like that. But after a couple of years, I was able to get an attachment to Radio Kent, and then I came back to Cornwall again as a producer, and then I went to Broadcasting House in London as a producer. I was lucky at that time. It was not too difficult for people who didn't have any journalistic background whatsoever to have a start with the BBC anyway. So that is what happened to me.
What was life like at Radio Cornwall those days?
Sorry, what was life like
at
those places?
At Radio Cornwall in those days?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was the most exciting time. The team was new. We were all 25, 26. I mean, some of the presenters were older, but the people actually working on the staff were all about the same age. Some were Cornish, but many had come in from other BBC jobs. And it was just really great fun because we were starting something completely new. And it was lovely because it was very much welcomed by the Cornish people. We felt very appreciated. And people would talk to you. They loved the fact they could advertise things. They loved the fact that there were programs with a lot of speech content that were taking an interest in local issues and doing it in a way which was quite serious. I mean, there was not always serious, but exploring issues that local people wanted to be explored. But as a team of people, it was great fun. They were very, they were a touch on the wild side, but it was good. It was very good.
And is Cornwall where you met Phil?
Yes. Yeah.
So
it is. I was married to somebody else at the time, and that was another sort of trait of Radio Cornwall staff. Everybody seemed to get divorced and remarried to other members of staff. I don't think these days, in the days of the Me Too movement, that would be quite so easy or possibly encouraged. We did meet there. I can tell you about my former husband because I got him doing the surf report, which used to happen every Saturday morning and Sunday morning. And because I was told, you're going to love the BBC, you better get your husband involved. So I did. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, the next thing I knew, he was sleeping with one of the programme assistants who had started taking surfing lessons with him on Saturday morning.
Okay.
So that was that.
That hasn't gone down very well in the room.
Yeah, well, it didn't go down very well with me either at the time. But there you are, these things happen.
So you moved on from Cornwall, and where next?
From Cornwall to Broadcasting House, where I was an education producer. And we were there for probably 2 years. But it was Phil always wanted to go abroad, and I had no objections. And while we were living in London, he worked a lot in the Middle East. And then he got the opportunity to go to Los Angeles for the Independent newspaper. And so we packed up and we went to LA. That was our first sort of proper foreign posting. In fact, he wasn't staff. He gave up his staff job to go there as a freelance, but with a guarantee that the Independent would put quite a lot of money into it, which they did. And I was lucky. I was able to get the BBC to sponsor my visa. So while I was in LA, I was able to work for any media organisation as long as it wasn't American. I didn't have a visa to work for an American company and was not able to take anything that would take a job from an American. But I was able to keep working freelance for the BBC. And so that's what I did.
And LA, is that a glamorous assignment?
Yeah, we loved it. Not everybody likes LA. It's a big, sprawling city, as some people will know. We loved it. I think we loved it because it was our first foreign posting. We loved the fact that the sun shone most of the days. We loved the fact that there were masses of stories there. Obviously, everybody thinks first about Hollywood, but in fact, there are huge numbers of political stories, there are large numbers of business stories, climate change. It's the most populous state in the country, and it tends to be at the forefront of a lot of things that are happening. So it's a very exciting place to be. We happened to be there for the riots and a big earthquake, the Rodney King trial, which was huge, O.J. Simpson, which, all you guys weren't even alive when we were there, but we were there for some sort of stories. Yeah, you were. But I'm sure that those around you weren't. It was exciting, yeah, we loved it.
We did an exercise last week when I asked the students to imagine they were about to get posted to one of a variety of different cities around the world, and to imagine what they would have to think about before they went somewhere and what they would do when they got there. When you get sent to somewhere like Los Angeles and you've arrived, how do you prepare? What do you do?
Well, the first thing that we did was, we knew there was a certain amount of money coming in because the Independent was going to be helpful. And so the first thing we did was look for accommodation. And but what I remember before going to LA, I was in Broadcasting House, and there used to be at Piccadilly Circus. There was a newsagents that carried all the American newspapers, and so I remember going down there and buying the huge LA Times, and bringing it back to the office and pouring through all the details about accommodation to rent. But of course, we had no idea what part of the city we wanted to live in. We didn't know what we could afford. So it was probably all a bit of a waste of time, but it was really exciting at the time. We very quickly discovered that we couldn't live where we wanted to live. And so I think the first two things we tried to do was find somewhere to live and set up a bank account, which proved to be incredibly difficult because to set up a bank account in the US, you need a social security number. And when you try and get a social security number, you're told you've got no reason to have a social security number. You're not American and you don't need it. So it was quite a struggle, as I recall, to get that in the first place. It was a bit of catch-22. And then we bought a car because you can't manage in LA without one. We certainly couldn't at that time. And we moved into the Valley, which is a much less glamorous part of LA. Some of you may have heard the term a Valley girl, which kind of, I think, is probably quite similar to Essex girls, something like that. But we could afford more we could get more for our money than we could if we tried to live in Santa Monica or certainly Beverly Hills or somewhere like that. You also, before you go, obviously, you have to check out all the things about vaccinations and that sort of stuff. Getting your visas, getting the right type of visa can often be time-consuming and irritating. And then Phil started work almost immediately, and he's done that everywhere we've been. He's never had 5 minutes to stop and do anything before working. So he usually starts working, and I start exploring the area and working out who I'm going to be in that particular posting.
So who were you in LA?
In LA, I was able to continue work. Two things in LA. I continued to freelance, which was great. But I also went to UCLA. So I did a degree while I was there. And then we adopted our daughter. So I became a mother there as well.
So quite a busy time, actually. So you must look back on LA with quite fond memories.
Very fond, yeah. In fact, we go back all the time. And we don't go back anywhere else we've been posted. Not because we don't want to, I think it's partly because of adopting our daughter from there. We've always wanted to keep her connected to LA, so now I go 2 or 3 times a year, but even before, because she's living there, but even before that, we used to go back every couple of years to meet friends, and that's the other huge thing, which is a big, I shouldn't say struggle, but it's a major part of turning up somewhere new. I remember our daughter turning up in India and said, "Do you know who my friends are going to be?" When she was about 5, and none of us did. We don't know. We've got no friends. We've got no family, and so one of the first things you have to do is also try and work out where you want to try and find friends, how you think you'll place yourself between the population of that country and expatriates, where you feel comfortable. Obviously, at the beginning, English speakers, at least in most countries, and expatriates of different nationalities are really helpful. But if you really want to get involved in a place, then at some point you have to sort of branch out and try and make local friends.
Just explain that concept of the expatriate.
Okay, sorry, I've got a cold, so just wipe my nose. So expat life, expatriate term used for anyone, bless you, like us who lives overseas for a short period of time. We live here as foreigners with visas. We're not immigrants. We're here to work. It's usually those people aren't planning to stay for a great length of time. Very often companies, the BBC I think is among the most sort of stringent on this. They insist on you moving every few years. I think with the BBC it used to be about 3, didn't it?
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, The Independent wasn't like that, and NPR, who Phil works for now, isn't like that. We were in India for 8 years. So companies vary on how long they'll allow you to stay somewhere. And then most companies, and it's very different now than it was when we started, so I certainly couldn't speak for companies these days, but most will provide you with some sort of package. Sometimes it's a home, sometimes it's money towards rental for a home. Often it will be for education up to the age of 18 for your kids. The NPR pays for you to go home once a year, and for us, that can be going to the States or going to the UK, whichever we prefer. Economy tickets, some companies, businesses often provide business class tickets maybe twice a year to go home, that sort of thing. Or for kids in boarding school in the UK to come back to where you're posted every holiday. I know people, families who have got that sort of possibility. What else do they do? Often it means, at least for journalists, it means the person who's doing the journalism working from home. So often one bedroom of the house or the apartment, whatever you're living in, becomes the office. And which is quite handy on the one hand because you've got no commuting. On the other hand, work is always there right on your doorstep. Which is handy because hours are often very long. Phil was up this morning at 4:30 because he was convinced that a Brazilian was going to win the Nobel Prize for Peace. And he had to be ready for the breakfast show, which starts at 6 o'clock our time in the US. So he was up at 4:30 making sure that all his research was up to date. But of course, the Brazilian didn't win. So it was just a very early start for nothing. So expat life, so that's what it's like from the company point of view, I think. And then, many of us rely on the fact that there are international clubs of one sort or another which help you sort of find your way in a new city so that you don't know anything when you arrive. I remember arriving in Moscow and I couldn't even work out where you bought anything. Couldn't work out where you bought any food because even though there were shops in the street, they never had any lights on and you never knew what was inside. And
I was about to actually move on from you were talking with fond memories of your time in LA. Moscow?
No, well, I don't have many fond memories of Moscow. Actually, I hated it. I found it too feral. It was very wild at the time. It was at the time when Americans were turning up with suitcases full of money and they could just go out and just do anything, take business people anywhere, hire private jets to take people to Sakhalin for the weekend, hire the most expensive prostitute in the city. Anything. It was quite wild. But I think I didn't like it because our apartment wasn't very nice. We lived in what was called UPEDICAR building, diplomatic comfort. They still exist, I understand, but you know more about that than me. We lived on the 8th floor of the apartment. We had a 5-month-old baby. We'd gone from California to Moscow in January, which was pretty grim. I had to try and drive our daughter when she was older to play school in the mornings in a battered up old car, and the gear stick used to come off in your hand and you had to shovel out the coal before you could even leave your building. Our daughter's black and it was quite racist, so when anybody arrived at our building they'd be told, you live where the black kid is, kind of thing. I didn't like that. I didn't like people in the pub. I hadn't noticed. And of course I didn't speak the language because that's one thing that rarely happens for a trailing spouse. The language lessons, sometimes a lot, sometimes not so many. But as a spouse, I haven't had any language lessons funded. So although I did start learning Russian when I got there, I didn't know any when I arrived. And in fact, the morning after I arrived, went to Pervomaiskaya. There was a hostage taking or something. You might have been there at the time. So I was left in Moscow with a dog that had to be walked all the time, a 5-month-old daughter. I didn't speak a word of Russian, and it was January. Thank God for the people on the 5th floor who worked for the BBC, because they helped me out through those first few. In the end, I worked for the British Embassy, then, which got translated into Russian. And I also did a language teaching course. And after I started teaching Russian English, I had a happier time because I was out of the apartment and I was getting to know Russians, which is very difficult if you don't know the language, or at least it was then. So teaching Russians, especially at a high level, was great because I was able to ask them a lot about their own country, and because their English was very good, they could tell me a lot about what they felt about their culture and everything else. So then it was more enjoyable, but I wasn't at all sorry to leave, despite the fact we made very good friends.
From Moscow,
And
you
I should
moved.
say that French was different. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say, from Moscow, you moved on to Delhi. Is that right?
Didn't we? Yeah, Jerusalem. 3 years in Jerusalem after Moscow. And there we had one excellent year because we were able to drive into Bethlehem on Saturday mornings when Jerusalem shut down. And it's fascinating as a city. If you've got any interest in history or religious history, it's a fascinating place to be. But 1 year in, the second Intifada began, and that kind of changed everything. A lot of people left. We didn't have one route to school that hadn't been bombed. Go to school in the morning, I was somewhat anxious. The Independent didn't provide an armoured car. Lots of other people, lots of other companies did. And it was one of the few places we've been where it was kind of dangerous to be in Jerusalem, and it was dangerous for Phil because he was working on the West Bank most of the time. So it was one of the few places where you kind of both felt vulnerable as a couple to a certain extent. But I loved Jerusalem. It was difficult but a fascinating time to be there.
I'm going to stop.
That's when I started doing some BBC work.
I'm going to stop you for a second. I'm sure some questions from the guys in the room here. Anybody want to ask it? Anybody?
As you say about having children and the decision to adopt, knowing that you're going to be here, there, and everywhere, that must have been a really difficult decision.
I can't hear. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to hear something.
When you adopted Melissa, was the fact of the lifestyle that you were going to have a factor in your thinking? Did it stop you at all, knowing where you might be living?
Oh, that's a very good point. It didn't stop us, no. And it was a factor, but only to the extent that her biological mother knew us as people living in LA, or heard about us as people living in LA. And the week that we were contacted to say a mother had chosen us to adopt her baby, who was going to be born on Saturday, and this was Monday morning, we heard also that Phil may go to Moscow. So we had to contact the agency. The agency said, can you be ready in 5 days to adopt this baby? And we had to say, yes, we are, but the mother has to know that we may get moved. And one of the places we could go is Moscow. So it was an issue in that sense, because we were afraid she would change her mind. But in other ways, no, we were very naive. We should have thought more about that.
I've got a question. If you were to write the guidebook for the what you call the trailing spouse, how would you describe the job description?
That supporting role that we're meant to be talking about.
Yes.
I think about the job description. I know the kind of person you have to be. You have to be someone who relishes the opportunity in living in new places. I meet people, and I have met people in every country who came to that country under duress. It was a good opportunity for their spouse, whether it's a husband or wife. It was a good opportunity that they really didn't want to be there, and invariably they're unhappy when that happens. When you reach, you have to be aware that you'll probably go through a period of depression because you really don't have any friends, and much as you might like the place you live in, you really do wonder, what your life is going to be like. And there are times when you'll question, what's my purpose here? Because we're so used to having roles as employees or bosses or mothers or students, whatever it is, and all of a sudden as a trailing spouse you can find yourself really without a role. I don't want to do it, but I don't even clean the house. So, and I don't have a kid with me any longer, so you can struggle sometimes in thinking what your role is. I can support Phil because I can edit for him, and I can look for stories for him. I can actually sort of help him in a professional sense. But I don't, and I can tolerate, I think because I was in the BBC too, I can tolerate the very long hours and the long periods apart, because he goes to Venezuela, he's always gone to Iraq, wherever we lived. Afghanistan, when we were in India, he would go to Pakistan. So you have to be a self-starter. You have to feel that you will fill your own life. You don't have to rely on somebody else for your daily kind of happiness, as it were. I had a friend here who went home to Norway because she felt she relied too much on her husband for her happiness. She was always waiting for him to come home. And back in Norway, she had a job waiting for her. So she went back. For her to need him, for her to feel sort of either happy or fulfilled, as it were, I suppose. And you have to be curious. You have to have a curiosity about the country. If you want to really get some spit, you have to be curious about the place you're going to. That you will learn and you'll grow from being there, and not that it's kind of just a period that you're taking out of your regular life and you're treading water.
Do you think there's a difference between
Does that
do you think there's a difference between training spouse if you're a training husband?
Yes, I do. I think we talked about this last time. I think it's probably changing, but I do think in general it is harder for men to be the trailing spouses. Not always. I knew a guy here, a New Zealander, who was exceptionally happy. He played beach volleyball every day. He was very, very happy. But I think for men it can be harder for various reasons. One is historically the expectation is still there, whether we like it or not, that a guy will be working, even if his spouse is as well. It's harder for them to make friends in a way because the network isn't there. Because there are still many more women as trailing spouses, there's always a group of people who will be there to help you out, whether it's a group that has monthly walks or talks from academics about the country that you're living in, or whether it's a book club or something, sporting or hiking. There will always be a group that you can find with whom you've got something in common. But almost always, those groups will be made up of women. And so sometimes they're just not as appealing to men. And of course, there'll always be mother and baby groups. So a guy here with a young child, which happens, can sometimes feel a little bit ostracized or, a bit left out.
I've got one more question.
Yeah.
Just want to know how much warning you normally get before you're moved.
How much warning do you normally get before you're moved?
Often it's very little. I think Phil knew in October that we were coming here, and we moved in December. But he didn't come back from Pakistan until about 2 weeks before we came. I was living at the time in the UK for a while. So he got back to the UK and we had to get our visas worked out very quickly. And I think when we went to India from Israel, we knew at the end of May and we started there in September. So maybe 2 or 3 months. It's completely different. Some people know a year in advance. They know when they're leaving and they know where they're going. Some 6 months, but for us it's usually a few months, which can be hard if you don't want to move. Yeah, that's about what we've had anyway.
I've got one more question, Mandy. Just tell us about your life in Rio. What happens in Rio? What do you get up to in Rio?
Okay, and I have had these moments in Rio where I do wonder what my role is here because it's the first time that we've been without our daughter. But I threw myself into life here. So the strangest thing to me it's the strangest thing I do is I sing with a choir. And in fact, on Monday, we gave a concert in a theatre in Copacabana. And there are times when you just pinch yourself and you say, how on earth did I end up here singing with this quite well-known singer in Portuguese? When I can't sing, I have no voice. But it's fantastic. It's fantastic. We sing great songs, and I learned a lot of Portuguese that way. And we've got 30 people who I know who are all Brazilian, who have endless parties, and we sing in these. We give these performances. Goodness knows why anybody would turn up to see them. To be perfectly honest, we're not exactly very good, but people here are so welcoming. They just let you do it. I do exercise classes. I learn Portuguese. I do some editing for Phil. I teach English as a volunteer. And what else do I do? I spend a lot of time sort of supporting our daughter. And I thought last time you wanted me to show you Crystal.
Oh, yes.
And I couldn't. I'm going to try today. So you have to tell me if you're losing the signal. So I'm going out onto the terrace. And if I turn around, can you see Crystal there in the background?
Yes.
Thanks, yeah.
So this is not because we have an exclusive location. It's because you can see Crystal from many, many places in Rio. And you can see, I think it's through the trees, you can just see the water there. So, and behind us is the first hill of Pau de Sugarloaf. So people are always going up there. It's very touristy. So I keep myself busy by learning Portuguese, doing the volunteering, supporting our daughter in the US. She needs quite a lot of help, and enjoying ourselves by the choir, and then I have another group. In fact, I have two very big groups. One is a dance group, one is a choir group, and one's left wing and one's right wing. And they love WhatsApp here. So I get about 40 or 50 WhatsApp messages a day from each group. And they are all political. And so it's quite fascinating to be able to follow that and sort of get to know a little bit more about the way people think.
Sounds great. My final question is, and I don't know if there's an answer to this one, but where next?
It's a question we ask ourselves. We don't know. We don't know. We don't. Phil doesn't want another foreign posting. I mean, it was enough to come here and for him to have to try and learn another language and also be responsible for lots of countries that don't even speak Portuguese. So there's Portuguese and Spanish that he has to try and function in. So we don't want to go anywhere anymore where that would be the case.
What about
honestly, I don't know. Sorry?
Lawrence Reed has been quite ill lately. What about coming back to Cornwall and doing the lunchtime phone-in?
No. I'm no presenter. And I don't think Phil loved his time at Radio Cornwall, loved it, but I don't think we could go back to doing that now. Although sometimes I think about some sort of podcast in Cornwall, just doing things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And what one could do there, that would be fun. No, I mean, whenever we're sipping a caipirinha at the kiosk along the road by the beach, we ask ourselves, what are we going to do next? Can we go back to Cornwall, which is where our home still is? Should we try and go to the States where our daughter is? How much more does Phil want to work? How much more money do we need to make so that he can stop working? Should I try and work again? I don't have a visa to work here. That's another big thing. In some countries, as a spouse, you can work because you can get a visa. But here, particularly in the first couple of years, it's very difficult to get a visa. So that's why usually there is a spouse that isn't working. But when I came back to England, I got a good job. So maybe if we came back to England, I could get a job again. Maybe we'll do that. I just don't know.
Mandy, listen, thank you very much. It's been fantastic. I'll let you go. And is it caipirinha time yet? It's probably not quite yet, is it?
It's always caipirinha time.
Lovely.
It's on Friday.
Mandy, thank you very much. Lovely to see you again.
Obrigado.
Have a good weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ciao.
Cheers. Obrigado. Oops. Oops. Okay, guys, just before we...
I think.
One sec.
The black box. Black box in the top right.
That one?
Have to hang up. The
Red
red
one.
button. You want to do that? Also, I don't think your computer's charging.
It is.
It's 27%.
It is.
With a 40% of the charge. Yeah. It's one of the most. Everything.